So listen. So today we are started with a new act. The name of the act is called as the General Clauses Act. General Clauses Act 1897. So listen. Sir, what is the General Clauses Act? What is the importance related to this act? What is the need to learn about this particular act in this particular scenario? We need to learn. So listen. Sir, here, listen carefully. So we are discussing about so many acts. We know about the Negotiable Instrument Act, Indian Contract Act, Companies Act. Then say you know about Partnership Act, you know about Sale of Goods Act, you know about Limited Liability Partnership Act. Like that, we know about a lot of acts. Okay, but in every act there is a definitions are there. Every act definitions are there. So in every act, we know about section 2. Section 2 defines the definitions. What are the terms we are going to be using in all the acts? All the terms are defined under section 2. That is the reason why section 2 itself it is called as a definitory section. So here, some of the acts, they cannot define some terms. Some words are not defined under that particular acts. Best example, in case of Indian Contract Act, minor is not defined. Obviously, minor is defined, not defined. Or in case of a Companies Act 2013, share comments securities are not defined under Companies Act 2013. We already done with the prospectus in Companies Act. Prospectus definition may securities are there. Securities are not defined under Companies Act. Like that, some definitions, some words are not defined under the respective acts. Whenever some words are not defined under respective acts, then where you should get the definition, there is a two options are there. What is the first option? They are not defined under respective acts. They can give a reference of acts. Reference of acts. Best example, in case of Indian Contract Act में, minor is not defined, but the definition of minor, we should follow the Indian Majority Act. Indian Majority Act 1875. Indian Contract Act में minor is not defined. The definition of minor we should refer. The reference is given under Indian Contract Act. What is the reference? That is the Indian Majority Act 1875. So in case of Companies Act, securities. So in case of Companies Act, securities are not defined. Not defined. They can give a reference of Securities Contract Regulation Act 1956. Section 2, Clause H of Securities Contract Regulation Act 1956. They can define as securities. Like that, what is the first? Whenever some acts are not defined, some terms, for those terms, how they can define, they can give a reference of acts. They can give a reference of acts. Like that, this is the Indian Contract Act and Companies Act. So one more other option, so they cannot give a reference of the acts, then at that point of situation, you should follow General Clauses Act. What are the definitions in the General Clauses Act? That is the definition of those particular words. Like that here, what is the need of this particular act? What is the purpose of this particular act? They can maintain what is the need and purpose should give a uniform definitions. So they can give a uniform definitions. That is the reason why this act was introduced. Whenever the some definitions, some terms are not defined in the respective act, the some words are not giving any reference of the act, then those words are defined the general clauses act. We should refer the general clauses act. That is nothing but we should provide the uniform definitions to the all the acts. Clear as that is another one of the important situation. And also, and also one more other purpose why this act was introduced, in India. So listen, since definitions are defined, definitions are for situation, definitions are not defined, then you should follow general clauses act. Another situation, definitions are defined, but in one act, one definition, another act, another definition. There's a conflict between these two definitions. Multiple times the definitions are defined. In that particular situation, there is a conflict arises between those definitions. At that point of situation also, we need not follow the definition, we should follow the general clauses act. So this is a purpose. So this is a one of the. This is not only the purpose. This is the main purpose. The General Clauses Act was introduced in India. What is the main purpose? So first of all, whenever the definitions are not defined, for giving uniform definitions to all the acts, or definitions are defined but multiple times are defined, there is a contravention conflict in that particular definitions. At that point of situation also we should follow general clauses act. Clear sir? Like that the General Clauses Act 1897, the act was introduced. This is the basic scenario, the basic understanding. And coming to this General Clauses Act, so listen. So before General Clauses Act, simply it is called as GCA 1897. So before General Clauses Act 1897 in India, two more General Clauses Acts are there. So 1897 के पहले there is a two more General Clauses Acts are there. There is nothing but General Clauses Act 1867. 1868 and General Clauses Act 1887. So General Clauses Act 1868 is there. General Clauses Act 1887 is there. Sir, for combination of these two, for combination of these two, sir, these two combination in the year of 1897, they can frame General Clauses Act 1897. Clear? So generally what happened? General Clauses Act 1897. So before 1897 General Clauses Act in India, two more General Clauses Acts are there. One is General Clauses Act 1868 and another one is General Clauses Act 1887. Okay, so these two acts together in the year of 1897, they can frame General Clauses Act 1897. What this act was clearly says that sir, they can give definitions and they can give interpretations also. Definition of chippers already we have discussed. What is the main purpose? Some of the acts definitions are not defined, then this act is define those definitions. Some of the acts definitions are defined multiple times. There is a conflict, and at that point of situation, also this act solve that conflict between those two. Clear as listen. So listen carefully. First of all, sir, section 1. I am not talking about this act. In any act, section 1 is the common section. What is section 1? What is the name of the act? Where it is applicable? Where it is applicable? When it is came into force. So this is the common section 1 in all the acts, sir. What is the name of that? Simple, sir. What is the name of that? The General Clauses Act. General Clauses Act 1897. Where it is applicable, sir? Where it is applicable? It's applicable to whole of India. Generally comes to this applicability is broadly classified into two categories of applicability. What is that? First category, that is nothing but area wise applicability. Another one is the institutional wise applicability. So area wise applicability, it is applicable to whole of India. For okay, sir. Then institutional, for whom, for those, for what this act is applicable. We will discuss it next. Came into force. So when the General Clauses Act is came into force, what are the situations? Listen. So here, this General Clauses Act 1897, this is not a new act. Before acts also there. So General Clauses Act 1867. So 1868, sir. This General Clauses Act is came into force on 3rd January 1968. This is one 3rd January 1868. This is on 14th January 1887. This is 14th January 1887. Okay, sir. Next, sir. So this is this act, the General Clauses Act 1897, that is came into force on 11th March 1897. Clear, sir? So listen. So listen carefully. So first of all, we have discussed about General Clauses Act 1897 only. So this is the combination of 1868 Act and 1887 Act. This act is applicable to whole of India. For what, sir? It is applicable to the central acts. Applicable to central, sir. Acts are generally two categories, sir. One is the state acts are there. State acts. Another one is central acts. State acts means the act is passed by state in assembly. Central act means the act is passed in parliament. Okay, sir. Like that, for this act is applicable to only central acts, not to the state acts. This act is came into force on which date, sir? 11th March. 11th March 1897 onwards, it is came into force. Okay, sir. Listen. Sir, applicability. It is applicability to whom, sir? Whole of India. It is applicable. It is applicability towards what, sir? Central acts. Applicability towards central acts. Okay, sir. How, sir? Listen simple. In any central act, definition is not defined. Then you can refer General Clauses Act. General Clauses Act definition you have to follow. Sir, definition is defined, but multiple times our definitions are defined. Then there is a conflict between these two definitions, and also you can refer what General Clauses Act. So this is the section 1. What is the name of that? Act is applicable to central acts. Okay, sir. Act is applicable to whole of India based on the central act applicability. So listen. This is a combination of two central acts, 1868 and 1887 General Clause Act. Together, 1897, you can frame a central act that is called as General Clauses Act. Came into force on 11th March 1897. So listen carefully. So listen. Simple, sir. Central acts. What is Central Act, sir? Central Act is nothing but the act is framed by central government. How, sir? Through parliament, upper house, lower house, like that. The act is framed by the central government, that is called as Central Acts. Clear? General Clauses Act mainly applicable to the Central Acts only, not for any other. So listen carefully. So Central Acts are formed. Central Acts are formed before 1868. 1868 General Clauses Act. So any Central Act is formed before 1868 General Clauses Act. Central Acts are formed between 1868 to 1887. Central Acts are formed 1887 to 1897. Central Acts are formed after 1897. Listen carefully, sir. So this act is applicable to Central Acts only. General Clauses Act 1897 is applicable to only for what? Central Acts. Act is formed by central government. But the Central Acts are formed before 1868. Central Acts are formed between 1868 to 1887. Central Acts are formed between 1887 to 1897. And after 1897, Central Acts are formed. So, best example, Central Acts are formed before 1868. There is nothing but Indian Penal Code 1860. So any Central Acts are formed between 1868 to 1887. Indian Contract Act 1872. Negotiable Instrument Act, we are already discussed, 1881. Clear, sir? Any acts are formed between 1887 to 1897. Okay, so 1887 to 1897. So after 1897, so listen carefully. So after 1897, what is the best example? Companies Act 2013. So Companies Act 2013 after 1897, or Sale of Goods Act 1930, Partnership Act 1932. That's a Partnership Act 1932. So between 1887 to 1897, between 1887 to 1897, what is the example? 1887 to 1897. What are the examples for those particular acts? So listen. So listen. Best example for this particular act, what is that? Wait, sir. What is- 1 minute. So Indian Post Office Act. Indian Post Office Act 1898. Indian Post Office Act 1898. So like that, these are the acts. Central acts are formed before 1868, between 1868 to 1887, between 1887 to 1897, after 1897. So listen carefully. So any act is formed, Central Act is formed before 1868 General Clauses Act. For this, GCA 1897 is not applicable. Not applicable. 1897 Act is not applicable. But any act is formed between 1868 and 1887 and 1887 to 1897. For this acts, GCA 1897 is partially applicable. Partially applicable means only some few definitions are applicable, only some few concepts are applicable, not all. So any act is formed after 1897, GCA 1897, fully applicable. So like that, the applicability of the General Clauses Act. Now, till now, we are discussing about only the applicability. So one is applicability. The General Clauses Act is applicable to only central acts. But the central acts are formed before 1868. General Clauses Act is not at all applicable. Central acts are formed between 1868 to 1887, 1887 to 1897. General Clauses Act is applicable, but not for all, only partial applicability. Now, any acts are framed after 1897, General Clause Act is applicable, fully applicable. So, for Indian Contract Act for Negotiable Instrument Act, GCA is not fully applicability, only partial applicability is there. So, this is the applicability, sir. So, area-wise applicability, what is the area-wise applicability, sir? So, which central act we are referring? Based on the central act area, that is applicability of that particular definition. Whole of India, generally in India applicable to whole of India, but central act wise, this is the segregation of applicability. Everyone is clear? So everyone is clear, having any doubt? Applicability of the General Clauses Act. Applicability only towards central acts. Those central acts are also segregated into four parts. Formed before, between, after. This act is applicable, before not applicable, between partial applicability, after fully applicable. So that is nothing but section 1, sir. Section 1 of General Clauses Act. Name, applicability came into force. Okay, next. Now, so listen carefully. So before going to be discussed about the General Clauses Act, we need to know about types of states as per Constitution. Types of states as per Constitution. What are the different types of states? Chala sir, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra. So not like that, sir. According to the Constitution of India, the total states in India is broadly classified into four parts. One is the Part A states. Part A states. So what is Part A states? Means the Part A states. So these states are formed. These are formed. These are these are the states. So these are the states. These are the states controlled by governor generals. Governor generals. Okay, so governor generals at the time of British ruling. So at the time of British ruling, these are the states are means controlled. These are the states are formerly controlled by the governor generals. Governor generals. Okay, sir. Best example, Bombay and Madras. Okay, sir. These are the states controlled by the governor generals. They can frame the rules and regulations based on that governor generals. These states are controlled. These states are called as Bombay and those are called as Part A states. Okay, sir. Next. Next one is a Part B. Part B states. What are Part B states? These are the states are controlled. States are controlled by Raj Pramukh. Raj Pramukhs. At the time of before constitution, sir, it means these are the states are controlled by Raj Pramukhs. That type of states are called as Part B states. Just example, Hyderabad and Mysore. Hyderabad and Mysore. Next one is a Part C states. Part C states. What is Part C states? So these are the states controlled by Chief Commissioner. Chief Commissioner. There's a Chief Commissioner, sir. First example, Bhopal, Bilaspur. These are the states. Chief Commissioner, one person is appointed by the governor of provinces, governor of a state, governor, no? Those people. So the governor's control party. Governor can appoint chief commissioner. Chief commissioner is control that is called as Part C states. Last one is the Part D. The Part D states is nothing but what is a Part D state? It is only is Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Like that, as per the constitution, the states are broadly classified into Part A, Part B, Part C, and Part D states. Clear, sir? Part A, Part B, and Part C states. You have to know this concept. Why? Because, sir, listen. Okay, we will discuss why these are very important. Further, this concept is very important. This concept is useful when you are using governor general, when you are using chief commissioner, when you are using governor, like that, we will discuss in the definitions. These terms are very useful. These are nothing but types of states as per constitution. Clear? Now, so now we will discuss about, sir, this act is applicable to central acts. What is central act? The acts are framed by central government. So what is central government? So central government and it. You know what are the states? Part A, Part B, Part C, Part D also. So now we will discuss about what is central government. Central government का मतलब क्या है? So what is central government? Tell me, sir. Central government and what is central government? Tell me, sir, what is central government? Tell us central government and listen. So how you can determine the central government? Listen carefully. So before 26th January 1950, before our constitution. So after 26th January 1950. So listen. So before 26th January 1950, sir, central government means generally who will control, sir? Governor General. So after 26 January 1950, then who will control the President of India? Yes, sir, President of India. So Governor General, yes, a Governor General before 1960, sir, not only a Governor General, sir. What is central government? Governor General plus Governor of Provinces, then Chief Commissioner of then Chief Commissioner of any state. Sir, here this is nothing but central government before 1950. Before 1950, central government, what is central government, sir? Combination of Governor General and Governor of Provinces and Chief Commissioner of State. We are discussing about Part A, Part B, Part C, and Part D. Governor Generals for Part A states, Governor Provinces for Part B states, Chief Commissioner of State, Part D states, no, Part C states. Like that, this all together it is called as central government. When, sir? Before 26 Jan 1950. After 26 Jan 1950, what is the central government? President of India plus President of India plus state government, chief commissioner of chief commissioner or governor general. We know about lieutenant governors, governor generals, and also, sir, administrator of administrator of union territories. So this all together it is called as central government after 26 January 1915. This is nothing but the definition of central government as per General Clauses Act. So I will disclose. So this is the definition. So it's a preliminary section 1 of the General Clauses Act. Short, this act may be called as General Clauses Act 1897. Preliminary, this introductory part of any law which generally contains short title, extent, commencement, and applicability. Okay, so out of definitions, we are discussing one definition now. There is nothing but central government. Yes, central government. Listen, sir. Central government. 3 clause 8. 3 clause 8 in that particular section, we will define the central government. Central government, we are segregation, two categories we are segregated. One is before 26 January 1950, after 26 January 1950. Before 26 January 1950, Governor General, okay, sir, Governor General, and also, sir, what we have discussed about Governor of Provinces and also Chief Commissioner of States. After 26 January 1950, President of India, State Government, Chief Commissioner, and Administrator of Territories. So listen, చూడండి సార్ ఇక్కడ. In relation to anything is done before commencement of Constitution means before 26 January 1950. Governor General in Council in case maybe shall include in relation to the functions entrusted. The government of provinces, principal government acting in the scope of authority, Chief Commissioner of Provinces. After Constitution, in relation to the part states, Chief Commissionerate, Administrator of Union Territory, and President of India. These three together it is called as central government after Constitution. Now what happens is we have discussed about part A states, part B states, part C and part D. Part A states, what is part A states, sir? Governor is appointed, which is former governors provinces British India. British India lo governor generals undevaru. Part B states and sir, Raj Pramukhs. Part C states and sir, what is that? Chief Commissioner appointed by President of India. Part D states what, sir? Andaman Nicobar Islands, Lieutenant Governor. Like that, this is the category of Part A, Part B, Part C, Part D states as per Constitution. Based on that, the central government is defined before Constitution and after Constitution. Clear, sir? The General Clauses Act on interpretation of statutes, they should taken as a choice. But these are very easy acts, sir. Very simple acts. We should get minimum of 16 marks. Simple, sir. Very simple acts and minimum of 16 marks only. Compulsory should get the 16 marks from these two acts. Sir, what General Clauses Act? Today we are discussing about General Clauses Act 1897. In that particular General Clauses Act, we are discussed about Section 1. Section 1 only. What is the name of the act? Where it is applicability, sir. Applicability concept we are discussed. Applicability. It is applicable to central acts. Yes, we are discussed. Central act. What is meant by central act? An act is passed by the central. States also can pass the act, but for state acts, General Clauses Act is not applicable. For central acts, only General Clause Act is applicable. For central acts only, General Clause Act is applicable. So Central Act is nothing but it is passed by central government. Okay, sir. Then for Central Act, what is applicability? Sir, acts are found before 1868, 1868 to 1887, after 1897. There is applicability related to this act. After that, we are discussed about types of states as per Constitution. Types of states: Part A, Part B, Part C, and Part D. Part D is nothing but Andaman Nicobar Islands. These are controlled by Lieutenant Governor. Part C states, this is a Chief Commissionerate who is appointed by President of India. Part B states, what is Part B states, sir? Part B states is nothing but Raj Pramukhs, so they're controlled by the Raj Hyderabad. Okay, so Part A states, which is nothing but olden days, it's controlled by Governor Generals of British. Now governors are appointed as per central government. Central government can appoint the governors. Now Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, these are all our Part A states today. Why? Because governor is appointed. Like the appointment by the government of India, President of India. Like this is the types of states based on this state applicability. After that, we have discussed about the concept called as central government. What is central government? So before constitution, what is? After constitution, what is? Before constitution, Governor General, Chief Commissionerate, Governor of provinces. All together it is called as central government. After constitution, governors, President of India, governors of a state, and lieutenant governors of union territory, chief commissioners appointed by the President of India. This is all together called as central government. Like that, this is the basic introduction part related to the General Clauses Act. This is the introduction part. You are clear about this introduction, then after that are very easy. This is all about introduction part related to the General Clauses Act. Everyone is clear? Having any doubt?